Hey y'all, I'm Shayna and I'm back with another review. This is for Put a Ring on It, Season 4, Episodes 8 and 9 because I am behind. But after we do this, we getting caught up. Like, my other reviews are going to be out, not tomorrow because tomorrow's Mother's Day. I ain't working on no Mother's Day, okay? But the other reviews will be out. Love and Marriage Huntsville, Real Housewives of Atlanta. I might do Couples Retreat on MTV now, not VH1 anymore. But let's focus on Put a Ring on It because it's late, honey. If y'all hear my dishwasher going off, listen, I'm sorry. Listen close, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into it. Before we do, if you're new here or if you're not, either way, if you enjoy the content, please don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel because this is a growing channel. Also, like the video, watch the other videos, there's plenty of them up there, okay? All right, so we pick up episode 8 with Joya bragging about her date with Luther, trying to make Jasha jealous, per usual, but this time it's actually working. See, before it wasn't working. Now he getting to her with the flamingos of it all. So Jasmine is going out. We're getting to the dates now because not too much time on that. So Jasmine, she's going out with Josie. He's also from New York, like her. And he tried to hug her when he came to the house, and she declined. She said, no, 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 I can't do it because she wanted to let Zay know that she's able to respect the boundaries he put in place, even though he might not respect the boundaries on his end. But at least she's sticking to it. He asked for it. She gonna do it. That's her man, her man, her man. So they go ice skating, and Josie, he's only been single for 7 months, so that's a little concerning. But I guess not that concerning because she's not single at all. He said he's been engaged, never married, and Jasmine asked what happened with that, and it's like he said, we gotta find ourselves, like just speaking in general. He's like we want to find companionship and happiness in a person when we really need to like find ourselves and have ourselves together. I actually enjoyed their date because she spoke about communication issues she's having with Zay. He does seem like he may be hard to communicate with. I ain't gonna lie to you, okay? But I did like their date. At first he was coming on a little strong at the house, but he seems like an overall nice guy. I wonder if he actually wants to get married in the future, though. She ain't really asked, so she don't really care. So Jasha is going out with oh, my handwriting is so terrible. Soraya, I believe. She's 35. She's a realtor. She has a lot of similarities to Joya. Like she said, her family is from Jamaica. Joya's family is from Jamaica. Like there's a whole bunch going on. She has 2 kids. They're around the same age as Jace's daughter. She's divorced. She also loves to travel. And, she isn't anxious for more children. She's like, if my husband wants some, I might have one, but I'm not, like, it's not a priority for me at the moment. Um, Jasha was like, this is cool and everything, but it's kind of a distraction because he's like, I love my baby. Like, I already got a realtor that got all this going on. I don't need, like, the imitation of it. I don't need a number 2 version of 2.0. I got what I want already. So I'm glad he's come to this conclusion. Seems like he don't want to date no more. Like, he like, I got what I need. I'm happy with what I have. Um, but Joya is getting a surprise painting on her date from Luther. He paid attention to detail. He said, "Aren't you from upstate New York and you like Florida's flamingos?" It's late, don't mind me. So he gave her a painting. It was like a flamingo with a New York hat, but she really liked it. She was like, you got me roses. They're the same color as my lipstick, and I got my painting, and it was so thoughtful, and it was just a thought that counts for her. She's asking him like, "Look, I see you have some tattoos on your chest. Do you mind showing me?" And he acting like Superman, just busting his shirt open, showing his tattoos. And she said, he was like, "If this was 2 years ago, would you have been interested?" She said she would have been. And while that's fine and everything, I think the asking to see the tattoos and stuff was like low key inappropriate, in my opinion. Like, I think if it was the other way around, it would have been an issue. Like, she was jumping all over them boundaries, okay? So Zay goes on a second date with Kenyatta. They go boxing. They having some surface level conversation, and she asked him for a hug. He politely declines. He was like, "We can give air hugs, but that's about it." And he says in his confessional, like, he's just ready to move forward with Jasmine. He's another one who's happy with what he has at home. So Catherine goes on her 50th date with Marcus, and he's basically telling her everything she wants to hear, like he always does. It's not hard for him to do, because she lets him know what Ricky ain't doing, and whatever Ricky ain't doing, he gonna turn right around and say he gonna do it. We'll see. He gonna do it at first. But let a couple years go by. You might be having them same complaints. You don't do what you used to do. It happens a lot. So while she's ranting about Ricky, Marcus says like he wants to spend all his time with Catherine, because she like, Ricky don't want to spend time with me. He's not romantic. He won't do this. He won't do that. Ricky goes on a date with Kay, who's in her 40s, and I think Nisha said in her review she reminds her of Tabitha Brown, and I can see that. I can definitely see that. She seems overall like kind of mature for him, not even just like age and looks wise, but just how she carries herself and how she like speaks to him, and her personality just seems like really mature. Like it seemed like the other one he was going out with, Sheila with the red locks, was like more his speed. He did say she's not his type, but he's open to her, and it seemed like their date was just so he can get some advice on his relationship only, like strictly platonic. um, they were both married in the past, so they have that in common. And but she's talking to him. He's like, I told you I've been married before. Like you talk. She like, 'cause you know marriage is different. And you're like, yeah, I've been married before. I know. But she's like, but you marrying somebody different this time. He said before he wants to marry Catherine. I don't know, but it's like when, and are you putting yourself in position to be somebody's husband? Like, 'cause you know what not to do. So what are you doing so you can be in a position to know what to do? So Joya comes home bragging about her date per usual. Jaisha jealous as he like, I ain't never seen this little black dress before, and she just pouring it on thick. And why do we always see every episode we don't see nobody else coming home from their date talking about no date? Only her trying to make him jealous every time. Like producers, we had an I'm tired of seeing her trying to make him jealous. Tired. So the couples meet with Dr. Stacy, and Dr. Stacy advises Zay to work on his communication with Jasmine. But Jasmine has to listen. If he proposed today, would you want to marry him? How he communicates today? So you got to ask yourself. Jasmine wants to go on a second date with Josie. Zay is not going to go on a third date. Ricky does not want to go on a second date. Catherine says she has some healing to do. And in this moment, I'm thinking she needs to heal herself before she can date anyone. Ricky, Marcus, or anybody else. She needs to really, she keeps saying she has trauma and all these things that she's like on the brink of tears in every episode now. Like, it's like you have something that you've really got to work on. So, yeah, she does need to work on that alone without him. And not in that family house. Like, get out of there. Ricky says some kind words, but in her confessional, Catherine like, I'm not so fast. You got some things you need to work on as well. It is not all on me. I know that's right, but make sure you say it to him. So Jaisha talks about his date, and he was like, they just lets him know. He's like, I love Joya. Like, I don't need somebody who's similar to Joya. She is in real estate and all. That's our story. Like, I don't need that. And that was nice and sweet. But Joya sure did ruin the moment when she started talking about that painting again. Like, girl, okay, that was a nice gesture, but but I do see her point. She was saying that it was thoughtful. Like, she's like, yeah, Jaisha takes me on these expensive trips and does all these nice things, but we're enjoying takes me on these nice trips, we're enjoying the trip, so he's benefiting from it. Like, we're doing this together. When she just wants something for herself, like, just do something for me. And I definitely understand how she feels like when somebody does something. It's like, oh, I did something like collectively, like for you, the kids, as a family. When you just want something, do you see me? Are you listening to what my needs are? Something for me specifically that has nothing to do with anybody else. I absolutely get what she's saying. But he said that hurt. Like, I'm putting in all this effort, and what are you saying? Like, I'm giving you my all. Like, I'm not no painter. And so it's like, it's an 80-20 thing for me. It's that 80-20 from that Tyler Perry movie. That's what it's given. Like, it's like that little bit, but it's not greater than what you have over here. So Episode 9. We pick up where it's still continuing with Jaisha, with him being in his feelings about that. But Joya did not choose a third date. There will be no new dates going forward. I'm like, is this the last episode? But it ain't. So Ricky sits with his dad. He's getting advice. Sounds like his dad's been divorced a time or two. I'm curious as to why. Just a little nosy because, it came up. So I want to know. But we don't know. But dad tells him, because he was like, how'd you know you were ready to get engaged? Well, Ricky, how you knew you was ready to get engaged the first time you did it? Answer your own question. But dad says, look, you'll know. Your heart will tell you. Like, you ain't no fighting it. When you know, you know. So Dr. Stacy has a one-on-one with Joya to discuss Jaisha's timeline as far as marriage and babies, which has been their issue from start to up until this point. Joya doesn't want to, have a potential high risk pregnancy by waiting until she's in her 40s. She doesn't want, her son is already 11. She doesn't want a huge age gap to the point where her son's a teenager and he doesn't even get to experience any time with his sibling. I understand where she's coming from on this as well. So Dr. Stacy advises her not to have a strict timeline because there's women in their 40s having children. Like, it's being done. Not for me personally, it's a no for me. It's a hard pass, but it is being done. And she's saying she and her brother are 16 years apart. That's great for y'all, but like, everybody don't want that, and that's fine. Like, Dr. Stacey was like, look, stop bringing up the baby stuff because you might push Jaisha away. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't want you to not discuss. Like, I feel like she's kind of nagging about it, and I'm like, maybe you shouldn't be talking about it every conversation. But like, I don't think you should put something that your heart desires and that you really want on hold because you might lose that man. Like, and if you do, then he's not your man. He's not the one for you. And you got to chalk that up, or you might not end up having another baby at all. These things you want, you might not have them at all if y'all can't get on the same page. It shouldn't be what she wants, what he wants. It should be them coming together to come to an agreement on a timeline, and it needs to be something not no up in the air. Something she needs something like firm. But I don't know. I do agree to a certain extent with Dr. Stacy, but I don't think she should like. Not because if she waits till she's in her 40s, she may become resentful because she had to wait, especially if it don't happen, or if it ends up being high risk, and she always gonna feel like, oh, if I would have did it in my timeline. And if he turns around and they have the baby prior to and he's not ready, he's gonna be resentful because he didn't want that. They need to be like-minded, equally yoked, aligned. Can't even be married and you're all over the place. Like, y'all gotta get on one accord, and that's what marriage is. It's a whole lot of compromising going on. It's a whole lot of two people willing to bend together, not one person doing all the bending and you gonna snap and break. But Jasmine is going on her date with Josie. They talk business, entrepreneurship, self-care, because she's saying she's spread thin, and he like, don't you got employees? Why are you spread thin? The whole point of paying people is so you're not spread thin. But it's her business, it's her baby, so she gonna be spread thin. Jasmine said that she, of course, is gonna continue with her man. Like, this is not no romantic relationship or nothing. But she wants to work with Josie as she wants to be his client. So she wants to go on some type of business venture. What does he do again that she wants to be his client? Like, is he a life coach or something? What does he do? Let me know in the comments. So the ladies are looking at venues and the guys are looking at tuxes. This exercise, I never quite understood why they did, but I guess it's a method to the madness that I just don't get. So Jasmine shares the promise ring proposal story with the ladies when it looked like it was a proposal, but then it was just a promise ring, and everybody was like, y'all are not in high school. Like, child, what? And that's what I'm saying. I probably would have broke up with him after that. I probably would have let him go. This ain't about me. So she exposed that it was important to her dad for Zay to ask for her hand in marriage. Like, he was like, Zay didn't even ask for my permission or for your hand or anything. He wanted to walk her down the aisle, and then her dad passed on, and now he'll never have the opportunity to walk her down that aisle, and it's really upsetting her. And it had me a little choked up because I too, like, life is so short. I mean, you can be here, I can be sitting here talking to you today, and tomorrow, who knows? Like, it's just that quick, okay? You never know when your time and your day will come. So it is tough. Like, I can't imagine. I wanted to get married as well and make sure my dad walks me down the aisle. Like, I can't imagine going down that aisle without him. So I understand if you're close to your parent, how you would feel, like how that would have you choked up. Zay is on the other side with the men looking when they looking at Texas, and he's saying the whole issue was him. Like, he's holding everything up. It was because he felt like he wasn't completely ready. You never gonna be 100% where you need to be. Like, people are forever evolving, especially now more than ever. As people starting whole new careers at 60 and 70 years old. So I mean, you're always going to be evolving, but you can't like put everything on hold because you're not exactly where you want to be. But that was his reason for his delay. I think he just simply had cold feet, like he said the first time, but okay. Jasha is telling the guys that, being a stepdad, she wants a family now, and all that. This is all new to him. Y'all been together for 3 years. And I say that to say this. Like, yeah, maybe legally you might not be his stepdad, but y'all should have a relationship. It made me think of like Michael and Shay from season 1 to put a ring on it. If you watch that, when she didn't really have a relationship with his son, and I'm wondering till this day, does she? Because that was a problem for me, and I'm not even in it. But I feel like if you've been with her for 2-3 years, you should have a relationship with her son at this point. But I don't know. That he didn't say he doesn't, but he said it's all new to him. But it's like it shouldn't be a difficult transition because you should already have an established relationship with her son anyway. So Jasha said that he wants her to want him regardless. Like, if they don't have kids, he wants her to still want him and be go on this journey with him, not just for kids, but because she wants him. That's valid. That is valid, but that's a deal breaker. Like, when people want children and they don't have them, like that is a deal breaker in a relationship. Like, either you can get over it. I can see if it's like something happens and you can't have children and you want to be with the person, but if you're just like, I don't want them, then that's something that you got to take seriously. Because after a while, women have a biological clock, and once that time comes, ain't no going back. Ricky said that he needs more time with Catherine. He feels like, Kat got some healing she need to do, so they might not be ready right now. What y'all sign up for the show for? Why are y'all here? So they like, what? Tell your bros what's going on. He's like, she just got some things she need to work on, and we've realized that in this process. Why you keep saying she, pointing the finger at her? She's taking accountability. She got things she need to work on, but you need to work on getting about your parents' house and getting a car. That's what you need to be working on, and letting them braids go. You can work on that. I'm just saying. But Jasmine is talking to Catherine, and she's like, look, I think Kat needs to work on herself. Like, if you was my good girlfriend, I would be like, you need to work on yourself outside of a relationship. She was like, maybe one day they might be ready, but not today. I agree, and I really like Catherine, but I agree. And then they just like, y'all just too comfortable in a relationship. Like, get the spark back. Like, that whole living situation is not helping anything. Jasha plans a romantic date for Joya. He hired a private chef, and I'm noticing that seems to be a trend through these reality shows. Every time I watch something, there's a private chef involved. Jasha confirms that. He was like, you know what? I can see you as a mother of my children. I do see you as a mother of my children. And he was like, and what was your time frame again? What was your timeline? By 40? And she was like, yeah. And he was like, you ain't have to worry about it. You only got to worry about it. Like, that's not no thing. It's going to be way before 40. And I'm like, he knew all along. Like, I knew from the beginning these two they probably engaged right now and about to get married. So, but it's like, I'm glad she took a step back. Now, okay, now he gave you what you wanted, confirmation and reassurance. So now that she has a firm timeline, don't keep bringing it up. Like, if nothing ever happens and it's like, okay, I'm 39 and a half. Okay, yeah, that's a little different. But, I mean, don't, like, next week be like, didn't you say it's going to be soon, way before, and then keep talking about it. Let the man lead now. You got to step back if you want him to play the role, and let him play the role. So, Catherine goes on her 500th date with Marcus. Like at this point, y'all a couple. Y'all are a couple. Y'all are more of a couple than you are with Ricky. So in his confessional, Marcus says he's a better choice. He was like, Ricky got a child and an outside family to take care of. He can barely take care of himself, so he definitely can't take care of no woman. I said, oop. Ooh, Marcus getting a little feisty with it. So Catherine tells Marcus she doesn't experience anything that makes her feel like a girlfriend with Ricky. No intimacy, no romance, no nothing. Ain't no finance, ain't no nothing. She's been saying this all season. Like, I hate it for her. Hate it. Marcus makes it clear that he wants Catherine. Even Catherine had to say, like, he pouring it on thick, hella thick. Real thick. Thicky thick. But she still don't really know what she want to do. The couples meet with Dr. Stacy. They're discussing their tasks for the week. Zay said his cold feet are thawing out. Like he can see his feet are touching the floor. He can feel them on the ground now. The ice is melting. You know you want to marry that lady. Stop. Don't waste no more of her time. And they all saying the same thing. Like Jasmine, like, I don't want to be out here dating in these Atlanta streets. Dr. Stacy said, it ain't just the Atlanta streets. I got people complaining in London. And she ain't lying. Thanks to getting on TikTok now, you can see people all over the globe. And they are in London very much complaining about this dirty dating pool. It's awful. Everywhere. All over. People be like, I need to move. Maybe you move to that city, and I guarantee the women are complaining still. In the men. So, yeah, the dating is rough. So if you got somebody and you can make it work, I advise you to do so. But everybody like, yeah, I don't want to be out here. I don't want to be out here in these streets. Like, I'm tired of this. I want my person. I want the one. Let's put a ring on it. But then Catherine is like getting shaken up. Like, she ain't bursting into tears again. And I'm so tired of seeing her crying. And then it's like, what's going on? And she was like, I'm crying. I know who I want to be with. We know you want to be with Ricky Earl. But are you fine if y'all don't get married right now? Because I still don't think they should. I know she's saying I know who I want to be with. She's locked arms with Ricky. Like, their arms are intertwined. Then I went and looked on her Instagram, and I don't see no trace of Marcus in sight. Her and Marcus look like they would be a couple. Like, they aesthetically seem like they should. And they seem like they got way more in common. But that doesn't always make it right. It just looks like they would be a couple in real life. But it's looking like, as of right now, she's going to choose Ricky. But is he going to put a ring on it? And then when they get the ring, because you know they're good for putting a ring on it, but is it going to go anywhere? Don't be giving me no promise ring and calling it an engagement ring. If you ain't ready to actually get married, then don't do it. But y'all let me know what y'all thinking. We almost to the end of the road. Like, the finish line is near. Are y'all still watching? Again, I'm sorry about that loud dishwasher, but it is what it is. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.